Hello there, folks. Welcome back. Another episode of Citie Skylines with me, Dr. Benji FM. Good to see you. We're now going over the barren land of New Jersey, because that, folks, is where we are going to build out today. If we look into the distance, of course, New York over there in all its glory. And yeah, hopefully today, then, we're going to do some exciting stuff. What I've done, just pre-record, is flatten these roads to be at ground level. But I've had a brainwave, and I thought I'd actually share this bit with you. What I'm going to do, I've surveyed the area, folks, and while I think some of this being a bit bobbly is quite nice, I think for the purposes of building successfully, I'm going to flatten it all down. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove some of these sort of inner roads compared to everything else. That's plan A, I guess you'd call it. And we're just going to hope now, really, this is the big plan, to be able to build our way through and make some sort of junction that goes over both ways. But obviously it's not going to work at the moment because the slope is too steep. So we're going to have to find our own way of doing things. I've just realised as well, some of my sound settings are off. Okay, do we have some sound now? We do, there we are. Sorry, viewers. Alright, so we're going to flatten some of this ground. You can see it's a little bit uneven in certain areas. So we're going to go for the level terrain tool. We're going to make that slightly more in terms of brush size. This is actually like a mod to be able to do this. So you might want to look on the Steam Workshop for that. We're not going to do the whole thing. There's certain areas I want to leave, but I think just for this area I want to build into to begin with, we are going to flatten a lot of this out over towards this side, just so we can build some industry on it and it not look too uneven or too all over the shop. Again, this area over that way, like all this here, I'm going to leave. But for the areas I want to put some industry around here, we're going to start to flatten out. So what we're going to do is, again, destroy these and then pop in one of these. So I've used this before, but I am going to do it again. The clover leaf intersection, it's called. Again, I do believe it's I don't know if actually it might be vanilla, or it might come base game. I can't. Sorry, it might come as a mod you can get for yourself. I can't actually remember. It's that long ago since I downloaded it. I can't remember. They're not completely straight, and although I know that, I'm going to have to just ignore that because it's going to drive me wild with frustration. So, what should we do? We've got some trees over on this side. We've got quite a big area of nothingness over on this side, and yeah, not a lot of raw materials to actually play with necessarily. But I think what you can do is if we build up a heavy tree populace over on this side, again using the brush tool and just making this very tree based, I think that's suddenly it's a forest at this point, viewers. What we can do is build an industrial area, a forest industry obviously, and do so over here. So we need the paint industry area. So you can now see we've got a nice big green area to build within. So I think this could be quite good fun if we just go for a very basic rectangular shape to kick things off. You'll see how this builds up very quickly. You'll remember, by the way, last episode we were focusing quite a lot on Queens and the build-up of population over there. Hopefully that just continues to happen, otherwise I'll be very frustrated. And we'll check in on that. Of course, we're still looking to get towards our next total, which is 60,000, and then 75,000, where all hell breaks loose and we can buy all the squares we could possibly ever want. We don't have to be selective at all going forward into that particular situation. So what we're going to do, roundabout, I think, is going to find its way into here somewhere. I'm going to do it slightly off-center to be a little bit more interesting. And again, we can sort of build all around here. And actually, one of these, what I might have is go all the way down into the Jersey City area. So, yeah, that might be the way to go about our business. So, actually, let's do it. Just thinking about this. Let's do it. Actually, I could have a road maybe run through that gap there. Maybe. I'm just going to try that out. That could be quite an interesting thing to do. Is to put this road here through this gap and then maybe under and in or over and in. I'm going to go under, I think. Just under there and then up again. And then we can sort of have our own little Jersey City by the sea over on this side. We can obviously have it run parallel to the train line, maybe put our own train line in there as well to link up to the mainland city, or the Manhattan city. Yeah, we'll do that. Right. Back over to this side then, we need to link up these roads into the roundabout. Now we could do this in two ways. We could either have an in and an out section, or we can have them both go into the same section, which I think that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do first of all, 70 out that way, or 75 out that way, sorry, and then just bend this 3-lane road into this area. I hope, again, we'll do a bit of trial and error here. We'll see if this actually works. We'll go for a 6 to there, and then, oh god, I'm a little bit apprehensive that this won't work, but I'm trialing things essentially, viewers. That looks like a bloody mess. Oh, actually, that there. Now, it looks a bit messy, but I actually think it might work quite well. If we have no left turn there, which I don't think we necessarily need, unless maybe I do want a left turn there. Using the traffic management tool, I'm not going to be able to allow them to turn left, but yeah, I think that's the way to go. And that one should maybe go... no, they can both go straight on. Why not? That should mean it works quite well. I don't want cars really to come into this roundabout, go all the way around and just exit again. So if they want to make a left turn, they can do, although I think early on at least that's going to be pretty unlikely. So we've got these two roads to play with. I'm debating now whether I should have done it on that road actually, but we've got these two extra roads to play with, of course, as well as this road that we've built down towards the Jersey City area. So let's again build some industry out on this side to begin with. So, and we want it to be quite straight as well, so we'll do that there. I'll just give myself some base markers of where I want it to go. Don't necessarily want that one, so you can see building that out towards there. Boom. Down here. Boom. And it's just going to be built out in quite a general way to begin with. We're not going to be too extravagant with the build, because obviously we just want to be able to have a lot of trees and forests and the things that come along with that out in this direction. Of course, we're going to have to supply this area with electricity and water, as we are with every other place. Let me know in the comment section today. Let's have some sort of question of the day. Have you picked up Citie Skylines? Have you got back into playing it as a result of this series? Let me know, how's your city going? Let me know maybe your population size and how you're doing financially, or any problems that you're running into, any questions you might have about your city save. Yeah, that could be a cool thing to do. We could even have like a series maybe one day where people send in their cities builds to me, like the file, and I try and fix their city for them. That could be quite a fun idea, maybe. Right, so far so good. I quite like that actually as a sort of a base level industry zone over this side. And again, we can begin to build out down here as well, maybe at the same time, and have a population down the bottom here. We're actually going to go with a similar vibe to that we've had before, and have these roads go sort of almost parallel to, there's a rock there, but I'm going to remove that, to the water's edge to give us sort of a natural outline. I'm not going to do it everywhere like that. I'm going to leave a little bit of a bump, but yeah, I guess, am I going to go all the way around here? I guess I am. I wasn't going to, but then I feel like I started to commit, so there we are. And then one of these can just sort of come off there and then bend back around that way, and then another one can go this way to a slightly different area. So that's fine. And again, we can build all of this out and put like a train station, maybe a line that goes under the water, like in real life. That could be something we could try and replicate to some degree. Right, industry. So far, we've built the area and the roads that it needs. We'll just focus on the water quickly as well. Now, do I link it to what we have down here in a completely natural way, or do I build from scratch? I think we're going to link it, just because I think it makes for a more simplistic build. I wanted 160. Would it give you 180? No, that's annoying. 140 will it give me? No, 120, because I'm trying to stay with this 20 rule, you see. 100? There we are. 100 will have to do. Then we could probably do it from there, actually. Yeah, you can. So 60 there. All the way across. This is just for like my own sort of OCD, I guess. Citie Skylines is I feel like it's a game of OCD, almost. And I don't think I'm someone that suffers from it particularly. I feel not more so than like someone who has maybe got like the diagnosis of OCD, but again, like making things neat and together, and I guess to just lump myself in with people that have OCD is not the way to go about things. You can't just consider it immediately, can you? No, it doesn't work like that, Ben. Electricity wise, do I want to populate this area with more green energy sources? I do. You know, I'm becoming a fan of that actually. We've done it quite well in the water when we've used these electricity sources, as well as the solar panel we put in somewhere over here. Yeah, so actually so far it's been pretty good, all by all accounts. And of course we can build a line down to here, so if that's one goes up and across, then we can build it all from there. What we can also do, we've obviously built the area of industry. We can also zone it off, so if we were to put buildings in, or sort of more general buildings of industry, we can have these industrial zones. We can now make it to be the type So it's a forest industry zone as well as an actual industry area. You'll see it gives you different options as we go along. So we'll do sort of the entrance building can be there, and immediately that unlocks a few other bits and bobs for me. So we've got a sawmill, a small tree plantation, and a small log yard. But because of the size we've built out, I'm going to go pretty big, and because of the money we've got at our disposal, if you do these quite early on industries, you'll find that actually trying to build these out, well, these cost 4,000 at a time. You think when we first started, we just didn't have that sort of money available to us, did we? It just wasn't going to ever be realistic. But now, a little bit more leeway to sort of do as we please. So you've got loads of trees already down there. I might even back it actually, by which I mean I'm gonna back them over this side as well. So we've got them on both sides now. Will I fit one or two more there? Probably one there. And then a sawmill might just fit in that gap. Yes. Good planning, Ben. Well done. Now what we'll see happen, now we've got our, whatever this is, the Umber forestry industry, or area, sorry. We can improve the logistics, advanced automation. I'm going to improve the safety conditions and improve the logistics immediately to try and get the most amount out of this area if we can. Again, our electricity and water is pumping through nicely. But the problem is getting people to actually go over there and work might be a problem that we encounter quite early on. So to try and counteract that, I'm going to build this area out almost straight away in the hope that people will live here and create their own population here. Now, we're going to be quite, I don't want to say random with this, that's not the right word, but we are going to try and build it out quickly. Some of these are just going to be like really nice IT offices, so they're going to be nice and big to give us a bit of a skyline, a bit of a Jersey City skyline over on this side. But yeah, the rest of it, that can be, again, quite gridded, quite simple, and again, will allow us to build population quickly over on this side. Some people give me some advice, by the way, about how to stop bridging. It's to do with this slope stuff down here, isn't it? I'm now fully aware. I've had that on my game for years. I had no idea, but I actually quite like. I complained about it a few times. I actually quite like it. I had a little play around. I figured out how to use it, but then I realised that actually these little bridges that appear and come up, actually, you know, strangely a fan of. I didn't think I would be. Does that one allow me to go anywhere? I have to go further along and just build a road that goes maybe even all the way up to there, actually. Would it go through? Yeah, it creates a little tunnel. So it could just sort of slip onto there. And again, more houses or commercial over on this side. And hopefully our industry area right now is growing, and our money that we make from that should go up dramatically. If we take a look, actually, our money currently, and we go to the industry tab, you can see currently we're making nothing. The expenses are the only thing that's there, no profit whatsoever. If we go back and check this in a few weeks' time, it should be very, very exciting. I say weeks' time, a few episodes' time even, maybe even later this episode, it should get very exciting, as that one was a bit longer than intended, but we've done two now. Right, do I start to build out down there? Maybe we do. Again, our water situation is pretty healthy at the moment, so will it allow me to do 60? No, it's been very awkward. We'll just go from here at 90 degrees, so it shouldn't be too much bother. I've gone to 60. Oh, I think I just won 6-1 there. You're just going to have to forgive me. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me. And in fact, I'm going to counteract myself by doing 19 there. Oh, 19, 60, and across. Does that give us full coverage? Ugh, not quite. Just a little bit more there. I did 29. Oh well, okay, that should be fine. We'll do some low density commercial in this actual area, I think. So I'll just put like a little corner shop on there. Again, they're going to have workers in these areas, and you can see immediately just how busy this area might become with the amount of log, or the trucks that are carrying logs, that you can see them on the back of those lorries that are exporting them, hopefully to this area here, and it should, because of the junction we've put in, run really smoothly. Of course, we've got a lot of vehicles going into the city this way, remember, and going underground. But yeah, this new form of industry might be really good for us, as actually straight away we're going to put in some big high density buildings, some big apartment blocks, which will hopefully get some workers in. We'll do a similar thing over on this side as well. You can see here. We should probably zone this off actually as Jersey City as well. I know Jersey City does go out all the way down towards here as well. so we can extend it at a later date, but we will just zone this off. And I'm actually going to make Jersey City slightly different to everywhere else. I've just decided this now in my own mind, so opposed to someone else's mind, Ben. Good one. I'm going to make it so it is eco-friendly, self-sufficient buildings, absolutely. And we're also going to do this IT cluster, so that while there might be some offices in a few places, I want especially this area here to be quite highly built. We might even put a few like special buildings in there as well from the unique buildings tab. You can pop in there. A few of you might have mentioned as well, or seen at least, the Statue of Liberty is around here somewhere. Did I just lose that there? There it is, look. Statue of Liberty. Of course, we'll try and put it on one of these islands. We'll have to make one of them a little bit bigger for it to actually fit. But yeah, that'll be the plan. The plan with that. We've got a Plaza of the Dead, which sounds a little bit morbid, doesn't it? But we'll put that in actually. Maybe it might encourage people to move in. Which sounds, I don't know why it would, but we're giving it a whirl. Again, we'll do some high density commercial over on this side there. A little bit of this in this side. Just sort of, again, we're just being a bit free with it really. And then again, some high density sort of officey block. Sorry, some high density apartments which we've seen based on the Upper East Side that grow up and yeah, get quite big. The water appears to be an issue for people, and then it fixes itself quite quickly. Of course, if people are to live here, oh, there we are, look, congratulations. The Umber Forest area has reached level 2, so we can build a few more bits. The small tree sapling field, forestry, workers' barracks as well. Furniture factory can go in there too. So let's actually go over and do that now. And again, continue to build this up. So we've got the biomass pellet plant. We'll put that in over... I was going to do it over here somewhere, but it's been a bit awkward. So we'll pop it there. Sawmills were good for now. I think these small tree sapling fields can go almost sort of, again, this sort of back-to-back thing over here. We could maybe build those out a bit more, but I don't know, I quite like where they are. We should also put some services in. It's just occurred to me. If you just pop a police station on one side and then a fire department on the other, just in case anything major happens. And because of the sort of area it is, actually, I'm going to put in a fire helicopter depot. I think we've done this once before, but I'm just conscious of the fact that we're in loads of trees, and I would quite like it to sustain itself. There's no electricity down here whatsoever. I'm going to do a bit of a Citie McCheaterson. Not Citie McCheaterson, but, you know, going to cross it straight over the river to provide the power source. And on the reverse of that, up this side, we're going to use what we built earlier on for the industry to help us out big time. Any more industry we can add to this? What else was here? I forget. There's a small log yard. Do I want to put a small log yard in? It's really just for supplies. We don't really need it, in my experience. We did get a factory though, didn't we? Unique factory. We got the furniture factory, which I'm going to put here. So sort of as you enter this area, there is now a furniture factory, which will need connecting up for electricity as well. But there you are. Look. So hopefully that will again will continue to grow. If you take a look at it again, you can see you're trying to hit certain targets. So we need to create 1,500 resources. Worker-wise, we're beating that target already. So yeah, it should happen as soon as we collect or produce the amount of resources required. And because of the sheer amount of woodland area and the tree saplings we've planted, should happen relatively quickly. If all things go to plan, we could do advanced automation as well. That might increase his production output by 10%, increases building upkeep by 10%. I think we're going to go for both of them very early on here. Try and do as much as we can. I might actually, just to lessen the flow of traffic around that roundabout, have one of these roads become a bit of a curved exit road. Like that, you see? I'll do the same thing over this side as well. It goes one way, so it would just allow vehicles to leave without having to go back round again. Obviously the in, we know how that works already. But the out now, you can see that they're straight out, no messing about. They don't have to try and clog up the entrance ways. These roads so far, at least, aren't very busy anyway. So, yeah, it works. Of course, as people start to live in these areas, and I love the look of that already, I must say, it'll be good. But right now, it's not a major concern. We can start to do things over here as well. A few apartment blocks, maybe a little bit of office in there. Again, a few more commercial areas too. And again, electricity-wise, it should all connect up pretty reasonably. I'm actually going to paint this entire area with one of these. I'm even going to do it. Yeah, I wasn't going to, but I'm going to do it all the way along there. And then all the way on the back side as well. So they're going to be quite small houses down that side. But again, it's the look we're kind of going for as it builds into this rock face almost. We might even leave this rock face to be almost the divide between the industry. Because you can't even really see it. You can see the World Trade Center in the distance. But yeah, it looks pretty neat and tidy. And you've got a lot of cars now going in through the tunnel under the railway. So that works well. These areas, again, need services though. So we'll get to work on that. We'll pop a police station in quite a central area to everything. Fire department, somewhat less important, is it? I mean, no, it's not less important. I might just connect one of these roads up, you know. Yeah, I'm going to. We're going to have a 6x6 there, which is then going to go under, I hope, towards here, and then back in through there. Actually, I want it to be both ways, though, not just a single way road. Single way, one way. I knew what I meant. And, right then. I think we're looking good. Oh, there's someone complaining about the water already. Don't know what the problem is with the water, but it seems to be a continual issue that people are having. I'm going to pop in a medical centre around there as well. And a crematorium should go down here too, because people will get upset if we don't have one. So there we are. There's trees on that corner I quite like. They're not naturally put in there. Is there really a water issue? Am I making... Oh, we actually need more water. That was good timing. You can see our capacity is nearly maxed out. And I think we're going to use, again, another large water pump from somewhere. I'm debating putting it around here, which could be quite brave. Oh, I don't know, actually. Just thinking where it could go. Where it'll have... Actually, like, you might have some impact, but I quite like the idea of that. I don't really know. Where's a good place to put it? Down here now? Probably is quite a good place to put it. Sure, let's just pop it on there. Link it up to what we've got already. And you'll notice how the water really gravitates towards that. We'll just put I mean, not realistic to real life right there, but you can see what we're going for. As, again, level 3 now. Printing press, medium tree plantation, so that's slightly bigger, and a large log yard. So we're going to increase our workflow, or our industry at least, even more over on this side now. I just realised there's no way to collect any of the rubbish from this area. Is that going to fit a third one in? Not quite. Which is a tad annoying. We might go a little longer on some of these to give us the option to build a little further out. We'll do it all the way along. We'll even go across there, I think, if it's going to let me. It's not. It's been decidedly awkward. Fair enough. We could just replicate that, actually, thinking about it. So we just do 2 of those. Another one there. Another one there. And then, what was the other thing we just unlocked? I can't even remember now. I think it was a large log yard, which I don't really want. I think I'm prepared to wait. The printing press, though, we will go for that. You do need to make sure, and I've not mentioned this yet on some of these factories, so we'll mention it now, is that with some of these factories, they need to have all the resources to actually build up the thing. So it needs papers and plastics. Now, currently, we're not actually creating plastics. We can get them brought in from outside sources, but it will be quite limited in what it can actually do as a factory right now. And I think that there might be a similar issue currently with, oh no, not so much, the paper and the plain timber, or the planned timber, I should say, actually creates enough furniture. So actually fine on that one, but sometimes you need a little more, as it's starting to be... Okay, there's a queue developing here because that's got traffic lights. I don't think it needs to. Don't think it's nearly busy enough to require traffic lights. And I'm quite happy for that city to, or that part of the city to just grow itself. How are we looking in Queens? Remember last time we did almost like a time lapse? You can see here, these areas still not growing out as we'd like them to. And a lack of industry is probably causing that. So with that in mind, let's go for a major office, not a revamp, but you know what I mean. Let's just add loads of office down here. Should build out really quickly. Water's coverage is good. Electricity is going to be good. And that maybe will be the ticket to getting a few more houses over here, ironically enough. Because this area seems to have packed out quite nicely. We can even start to come around here in the future. We're nearly at 60,000. I guess, do we wait for it? Or do we wrap things up and know it's going to happen tomorrow? But I think so far with our industry, we've built out a lot there. I'm going to tease you. I'm going to wait till tomorrow for 60,000. Or I say tomorrow, the next episode. These haven't been quite as frequent. recently. I'm still doing my best though. We'll get a few out every week, definitely. But I think I did say at the start of the series, they wouldn't necessarily be daily all the time. But yeah, I'll do my best, and hopefully the traffic around here becomes less problematic. We might have a few problems, but it's exciting anyway, isn't it? And something to look forward to. So if you enjoyed today's episode, again, do drop a like. Want to see some more, make sure you subscribed, and I'll be around again to see you soon for the next one. Goodbye.